Live.
Oh, y'all here with us? Okay. I Stand on That podcast. Season 4.
Season 4, man.
Season 4, bro.
And look who in the building.
Hey.
We call this dude the Charlemagne of the podcast.
Hold
I
on.
don't know about
Hold
all
on. Listen, my mama taught me a long time ago.
Okay.
Don't introduce nobody. Let them
Okay.
introduce themselves because you going to fuck it up every time.
That part ain't fuck up. He is
So
the
here's
Charlemagne
what we going to
He
do.
is the Charlemagne of the podcast.
Here's what we going to do.
The messy one.
This G Money, CMB, we all we got. Right? Gary Harrington here. Season 4 of the I Stand on That podcast. Listen, y'all already know what it is. I'm going to start with this though. I appreciate y'all because y'all know y'all could be anywhere in the world, but y'all chose to be here with us right now and in this moment. So, G Money passing it off. I want to make sure that everybody get a chance to introduce themselves before we get into the tea. You know what I mean?
That's good.
So, Mr. Daily Insight.
Well, that's what it is, Mr. Daily Insight, Mr. 305, Mr. Dade County himself, extraordinaire. Make sure you guys follow us on all platforms at I Stand On That Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, we there. You know what I mean? Indeed, we there. But I'm gonna pass it to the next man to my left.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome back.
It's been a long time, folks. I'm happy to be back. You know, it's a man Deep Eyes. I'm just happy to be back, man.
You look good.
Yeah, you look good.
Man, I'm just trying, dude. You know,
what I mean?
my girl got me exfoliating now, so that's probably
Exfoliating.
You know, that's
2
probably
times
part
for
of
that.
it.
You know what I mean?
3 times for the Scrabble word.
So your
That's
boy been
brilliant.
exfoliating, you feel me? But nah, man, it's
Guy
a
been
pleasure.
over here practicing for the SAT. Hey.
But nah, it feels good to be back, you know what I'm saying? Just to chop it up with these brothers one more time, and especially when we have, you know, the conversations that's open to the public like we're having right now. So I think like tonight is gonna be, you know, it's gonna harken back to some of our old episodes and the vibe and the energy, but I also feel as if, you know, it's season 4, episode 2, so I feel like it's gonna be a lot of new content because I feel like the world's getting crazier and disappointing every day. So
Wow.
So I'm gonna lead off like that.
Yeah. So listen, if we're gonna talk about disappointment,
Yeah.
Ooh.
we're gonna talk about disappointment. Let's talk about disappointment.
I'm gonna put my head
Right?
down.
And when I say let's talk about disappointment, what I mean by that is this. I feel like I am tired of the narrative that I hear all over social media where men are disappointing women. Right? I am tired of hearing about women talk about why men cheat, men ain't shit, men ain't this. Let me first start by saying, whoever these dudes are y'all talking about, I don't know them. I don't know these cats. Right? And not to say that men don't cheat. It's just that the men I know don't cheat. So it's like this epidemic that we talk about, especially in Black America where men are cheating. It's like obesity. Like, where all of these fat people we talking about? Where all of these cheating men that we talk about?
Yeah, facts.
And I'm a chubby guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and rub it for good luck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen.
G Buddha.
Wow.
Man, that's why we had to have DA
Wow.
back, because he always giving you that sauce and always being controversial about some shit. But you know,
Go
man,
ahead,
keep
my
it
fault,
moving.
man.
Keep it moving. though.
You know why I'm
Keep it
cool?
moving, though.
You know why I'm
Keep it
cool with
moving.
the G Buddha? You know why I'm cool with the G Buddha? Because with all I've accomplished in my life, people been worshiping me for a long time. So let's keep that shit real.
Hey,
Let's keep it real.
He got a plug for it every time.
Oh,
He
man.
always,
Let's
he
keep it
always,
real.
he always got
I've been
the plug.
worshipped for a little minute.
There
Elite
we go.
improvisation.
I've been worshipped for a minute.
You know what I mean?
When-
Little level English. There you go.
When you a high value man, you got the George Gervin finger roll. Iceman.
Hey, that's
You know
all
what I
shit
mean?
now.
So
There you
let's
go.
talk about why men cheat.
Yeah.
Get into it, baby.
So I'm gonna ask y'all to bear with me
Oh.
while I stand on some shit.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
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 And you know what I'm saying when I say bear with me while I stand on some shit. Yeah, that's for you.
Oh. all
And
right.
you and you and you and you.
We're gonna keep
Bear
it.
with me while I stand on some shit.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm gonna stand on the fact that, listen, I feel like what y'all don't understand is men don't, like real men, if you fucking with a real man, he not really cheating. Right? What he might be doing is searching for the thing you ain't giving him. Right? And we've always fantasized this image of the 80-20 rule, where a man is searching for the 20% he don't get in a relationship while he overlooks the 80 that he does get.
Yeah.
And the reality is, y'all are tripping when you think you're giving a man 80%.
Oh.
Wow.
Whoa.
You're not giving what you think you give.
Great. Damn.
Real talk, if I'm being honest with you, what y'all think y'all are giving a man, you're not giving a man, you're giving yourself.
Is that
Women-
called? Is that called being selfish?
It is called being selfish. Women
Oh.
are selfish as shit sometimes.
Okay. I wanna hear that.
Especially modern day women right now, today, the single woman today, right? And I ain't talking about women like my wife, who, thank goodness that I found her when I found her.
What
And-
did you find that in your 20s or when you were 40?
If she was 40, she'd be single with a glass of wine and some cats.
Oh, that's an episode.
Throwback.
That's an episode. That's why I
Throwback
said what
to
I
the
said
old bag.
because it
Yeah.
clicked in my head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
nah, I found my wife in college.
Oh, so there you go.
I found my wife when she was in
Yeah.
her 20s.
Yeah.
Because my wife understood that her value was high, right? Her value was high. She brought everything that she needed to bring to the table when she brought it to the table. My wife ain't never said she was the fucking
Rewind. Can you say that one more time? You know why? You know why you say that? Because all these women talk about when a man asks you what you bring to the what are you bringing to this relationship? I'm the table. I am the table.
No, you're
what
not.
the hell?
No,
does
you're not.
I am the table mean? Now, women, when y'all say the table, most of y'all mean your vagina. Most of y'all talking about your breast. Most of y'all talking about your ass. You know what I mean? That's cool and all, but that's 20%, right?
Some of them also talking about their womb.
Yeah. that's
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in terms of their capacity to.
Oh, you mean the thing that every woman got?
I'm just saying.
Nah, I feel it, but that's every woman got that.
Yeah.
So you ain't the table.
So that's basically what you. Okay, so next time a woman say I'm the table, they basically what they really saying is they not the table. That's that. It's
Well, maybe they are the table. Maybe they just some shit that just sit there and don't do shit.
Bing. Hey, one more time. Wow. Hey, one more time.
If you the table,
Wow.
that mean that you know what that tells me?
You just
That
sit
you
there.
think you doing something that you ain't really doing, right?
Mhm.
And to be honest with you, a broken table is better than a table that don't move. At least the table that broken a little bit, like it wobble a little bit, it move, it
Ooh.
shake something, it do something.
Oh, did you?
You ain't shaking shit, though.
Did you hear that?
I heard it. I
But
heard it.
You ain't shaking shit though.
that's double entendre over play, is it?
Listen, I listen to Hov.
Oh, did you hear
I pray
that?
to God. You know what I mean? I got a relationship.
Hey, YouTube, did y'all catch that? Y'all put some comments. You know what I mean? Put it in there. We want to hear what y'all got to say about
Listen, you know.
this.
What
We
I mean?
ain't even jumped into. We only 8 minutes in.
We
didn't
we're
get-
not even started.
We didn't even get
You know,
started yet.
So let's talk about this, right?
Yeah.
Why do men cheat, right? Like at the end of the day, if we're gonna acknowledge the fact that yes, okay, we don't speak in absolutes. So I'm never gonna say that no man cheats. What I am gonna say is that if you're dealing with a high value man, he ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
High value men understand that time is the currency that can never be replaced.
Yeah.
I can get new money, I can get new property, I can get new everything. I can start me a new business. I can build me a business. I can do whatever I need to do. 2, 3, 4 times over. But what I can't do is get my time back. I'm not wasting my time. As a high value man, I'm not wasting my time. And when I say high value man, I just mean a man that's on the road to doing something. Right?
Got a purpose.
He got a purpose. And my purpose ain't to be out here playing with women's emotions and minds. That's some boyhood shit. That's some teenage shit. That's some childhood shit. So I would say this. Grow up. I would say maybe your target is, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, your aim is fucked up. You messing with the wrong dude if you dealing with a dude that's cheating on you.
He got too much time on his hand.
Because a real man, you know what I told my wife straight up before she was my wife? I told my wife, before I cheat on you, I'll leave you. Thunder. You know what I'm saying?
That was great time.
I told my wife straight up, before I cheat on you, I'll leave you. So, at the end of the day, where I'm at is this. High value men don't cheat. What high value men do is search for the thing that they need the most. And if you ain't fulfilling the need, then at the end of the day, I'm going to go find it somewhere else. Because a high value man got options. We ended that last episode saying, what? I got options.
Yeah.
I got options.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you making $100,000 or more, you in the top 15% of earners.
Yeah, facts.
Man, woman, child, I don't care what you are.
Yeah, because that's what majority of y'all women looking for. 6 figures or better, 6'2", on their purpose, driven, all that good stuff. Guess what?
Six pack with a 6-speed.
With a 6-speed.
You know
You know what I mean? Not a beat up car and
Buddy
driving
got
Mercedes or the snack box.
Buddy got all day. He don't gotta go to work. He can rub your feet. He can cook your dinner. He can clean your house. He can do all these things, and then he can buy a house and act like it's yours and not his. You feel me? All of these things that you think that a man should and would do, it's not real. It's the unicorn theory, bro.
You know, I don't know. I disagree with the notion that if we're talking about high value, then it's like, what's the definition of high value, right? Because if we're talking about earning potential, then men with a lot of earning potential, let's be real, they cheat. They cheat.
Well, why? But why though?
Some of it, I think, goes back to what you said in the beginning. It might be the 20% that they're not getting at home. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a big part of it because, you know, you said something about like selfishness, right? And it's like that 80, the 80 might be what you easily do. It's like,
Speak on it, DA.
you know, it's
Speak on
the 80% is what you naturally do. It's all part of your natural program. I'm talking about from the woman's standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Whatever she's doing at that 80%,
That's organic.
that's organic, right? The 20%
Is the work.
is the work to loving him in his own love language. You see what I'm saying?
The 20% is why he chose you in the first place.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean,
That's like at the end of the day, the 20% was the optimism of it all.
yeah,
Right?
It's the hope of it.
I'm glad that you got the 80 organic. But I expected you to work towards the 20 that you didn't already have. The same way you expect me to work towards
The
getting
20
you
that I don't have.
to the word. You expect me to work towards getting a house. The same way you expect me to work towards not just getting a house, but building a kingdom.
Furnishing in that bad boy,
You know what I'm saying?
making it your home.
Putting in the motherfucking work.
Yes.
Right? You expect me to go to work every day to give you the things that you want, need, and desire.
Want, need, and desire. In most cases, we just need this by X, Y, and Z. All that other stuff is just extra icing on the cake.
Right.
That's all it is.
Everything, listen, the reality of it is women watch the movies and they want that fantasy.
Yeah.
They want the fantasy of, yo, I got a man that's going to do all of these things. He's going to care about me, protect me, provide financial stability, emotional security, physical security, all of these things that a man is supposed to provide. Right? But then they get away with not providing you with the things that you need to give you the fuel and the energy you need to make that chase every day. So am I cheating on you if you not giving me what I need? Am I cheating on you if you not committed to our success by helping put fuel in the car?
So what is the fuel, my guy? Like let's stop all the.
I feel like the fuel could be a lot of different things.
Correct. So that's what I want to.
Yeah,
I want to touch on.
Let's let DA talk
Yeah,
about the fuel.
I feel like the fuel could be, it could be a variety of things.
Name one. We're gonna
Like
go down
one of
list.
them could be. One of them could easily. I mean, I think not everybody that's viewing this is thinking sex, right?
Boom.
So that's one. Let's be real.
Okay, that's sex, but
yeah,
what type of sex?
the type of sex that he likes to have, whatever type of sex it is, whether he likes to have.
Yeah,
rough
there's no
sex-
universal on
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
No
yeah.
universal?
There's no
No, there's
universal
no
law
yeah,
on that.
because like different people have different.
You gotta
things that-
provide the needs. Like every woman's needs ain't gonna be universal.
Yeah,
As much as we say physical, financial security, that looks different for every
Yeah,
woman.
and
Because
different
there's a
women.
woman out there that can whoop your ass, right? Like it's some WWE type women out there that's physically ready. It's
Yeah.
some female officers out there that's ready,
yeah,
and so the physical security looks different
yeah.
for them than it does the woman who has no ability to protect herself because she ain't been through no sort of training.
Oh, and
or
also
whatever
has
the case
been
may be.
through, physical situations that have traumatized her.
Right.
And now has put a premium on her on physical capability to handle a threat.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know, this goes from a fight to sexual assault.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So we don't know the history behind that need. You feel
And
me?
it's key for a man to get to the core of what that is before
Yeah.
he commits deeply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to know what your woman needs before you commit too deep.
And also where it's coming from. I think it's important to know where it's coming from because that history informs
Unless you know a lot.
what, to the extent she also needs it.
Yeah.
And also when she's also out of proportion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Just
Explain.
it's just like, because some people might have an exaggerated understanding of what they need, right? Oh, she might be going out there looking for this MMA type dude because of the last time she got like bullied in high school and got jumped, and her brother got jumped or something like that.
she didn't feel safe.
She didn't feel safe, right? Or probably want a dude that's really adept with the firearms, right? Because her dad got shot, and she wished her dad had a gun on him at the time that the
They
situation
can really
happened.
use it.
And could have used it, right?
So
but
our
does he need to be
ex-
like
So what you're
a
saying
CIA
is,
agent? That's
Hold
going
on.
out of proportion.
So what you're saying though is, our experiences and our insecurities shape
Correct.
what our potential needs are, what our prospective needs are.
Yeah,
That's exactly
and
what
then how
you're
we frame those needs.
That's
Absolutely.
exactly what
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, going back to that 20, it's important to have communication in a relationship. And
Effective. Hold on. Everybody say communication. Effective communication,
Yeah.
that needs to be explained and basically it's throughout there as well. Because we can
Yeah.
communicate,
Yeah.
but if it's not effective,
Yeah.
we're not hearing each other. We're not seeing each other's needs and wants.
Yeah.
Well, it ain't communication if it ain't effective.
But something that's
What
understood
are you-
can always not be understood.
Yeah, that is.
You know what I mean? So
Women
that's why
might think they
that's why I
communicating
want
effectively.
that's why I want to throw that out there.
Until
But
they
if you-
realize it didn't get
But I
across.
want to be clear that if you think you communicating, right? Listen, there's a responsibility on both parties.
Yeah, the listener
The
and the
sender
speaker.
and the receiver have
Yeah.
a responsibility.
Correct.
But it's truly the sender's responsibility to ensure that the receiver is receiving the information that you want them to receive,
Correct.
right? Because as the receiver of information, I'm on a crutch. I'm relying on you to give me what I need to truly understand what you're. Now I have to provide some effort, right? There has to be a responsibility on me to truly try to provide the effort necessary to receive the information you're sending.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
you have to make sure that you're not reckless in that, right? Because semantics of things are real.
Correct.
Absolutely.
You say something in one way, shape, or form, and I don't receive it in the way you intended it to be received, there's going to be an
That's
emotional response to that as well.
That's a recipe for
Yeah,
disaster.
yeah, and I think that's important, right? If you're the speaker, you also like you said, you got to communicate effectively and understand. I think part of that communication effectively, how can I get it across to this person?
But you got hold on with that. You got to know the communication style. As
Yeah,
well.
yeah, exactly, right.
So that's a big
So
part.
you
of that as
that's
well.
part of that. That's part of that.
Correct.
Knowing your partner, right?
Yeah.
Like knowing how they receive information. But I think what's important to the receiver is also knowing how important that thing is. So that way
Right.
there's no surprises down the road.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Right? Like if something's important to you, you need to emphasize how important it is. Right? So there's no misunderstanding the importance that you placed on it. So that way down the road, if there's a part in the ways, you knew how important it was.
Now, with that,
And I communicated to you effectively because you
Correct.
said you understood when I said it.
does that make sense?
Yeah, and then you asked me follow-up questions and I clarified.
There you go.
So now you know.
Yeah.
Facts.
So with that, you say sex is number one. We're still going down that list.
Yeah.
What's the second one? We talk about men.
Yeah.
But but I'm challenging the theory.
Okay.
Because when I say I'm challenging the theory, which is if you're not fully committed to what it takes to build a relationship, am I cheating on you, or are you cheating the standards of my relationship?
Or you cheating? You cheated the relationship.
You cheated the relationship by not meeting me where I need you to be, right? Because believe and understand that as a man, I'm setting the standard early on what I expect in a relationship. The same way a woman was going to tell me what she expects from her man, I'm explaining what I expect from my woman. And when you fail to meet the standard and I deviate from that because you didn't meet the standard, am I cheating the relationship, or did you cheat it by not giving me what I needed from the gate when I told you what I wanted from the gate?
Big picture, you cheated.
Who cheated first?
Well, in terms of the technical definition of cheated, if the man steps out of the relationship, it's cheating.
I feel it.
So we
But I've heard women say,
It's a lot of different type of ways of cheating.
I've heard women say that oh, he did this, so I did this, and it was
See,
excusable.
that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying. I don't want the tit for tat, right? Because then, what's the threshold for the tit?
But who said, when we say a woman is sitting up here saying that black men cheat, white men cheat, any man cheats,
Every
whatever.
man cheats.
No, we're not doing that.
No,
We're not
I'm
doing
talking
the
about
absolutes.
every category of man cheats. Black men
But
cheat.
not every man cheats.
Oh, I mean, yeah, not every man cheats, but every category of man
Every
cheats.
race.
Every race of men.
Say that.
Okay.
When
And-
he
and
feels
every
like a
co-
standard is not being
Yeah.
met.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna challenge y'all on something.
Or also, he realizes the standard is not being met.
Exactly. Now some men will cheat just because
They just
Selfish.
they don't.
They're horny.
Well, not just horny, but they got options.
Bless you, bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
They got options. Right?
I got-
There's more women than there are men on this
But
planet.
but it sounds as if you're saying. It sounds as if when you say that, it's like they cheat because they got options. Well, a lot of men in relationships have options. I mean, more
What does that mean?
what I mean by that is like generally, a man doesn't get choosing signals that he would normally he would get when he's single, like he gets when he's in a relationship.
And I get it, but women need to understand that there are choosing signals out there.
yeah.
Women need to understand.
As soon as you wrap that, as soon as you say that's your man, he becomes the target of other women. Period.
And women need to understand that.
Yeah, period.
And that's all I'm
Women,
trying.
women like challenges.
They say they do.
Or they're like scavengers.
No.
Like
That's cool. That's cool. Oh, that's her man. Oh, when a woman find out, oh, such a dude is that's her man.
Because a woman likes to believe that she can outstand and withstand all the challenges.
No, but I also think it's also because it's pre-selection. Meaning like
yes.
he's been verified already by that woman.
Yeah, blue check.
Yeah, he's been blue checked.
Ooh,
You know what I'm
hey,
saying?
you two, y'all hear that?
So it's like
Verified.
because women also know what women find attractive.
Yeah.
So if
No woman wants a man that another woman doesn't want.
exactly, and so if
y'all preaching the head tonight.
So
can
if-
I get an amen?
Amen. And so if when she sees that ain't the case for every man.
I agree. I agree with that. It's not the case with every man.
Or rather, every man that's in a relationship doesn't get this floodgates of options.
No.
He might get a couple trickles though.
Yeah, he might
That's
get a
what I'm
little
trying to
drip.
say.
Look, you know.
Yeah, every couple.
It's gonna happen.
Every 2 or 3 months, somebody poke their head, and they be
I
like,
see you.
I see you. Oh,
Yeah.
y'all happy?
You know how they say that every person out there got a doppelganger, right? What that means is there's another person out there that look just like you.
I believe that.
I believe so.
1,000%.
So here's what I'm trying to say.
1,000%.
So here's what I'm
So
saying.
here's the thing.
So here's what I'm saying though.
We'll never see him.
But here's what I'm saying.
I
think you might.
I've never ran into mine.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm saying.
I may have seen yours. I may have seen yours.
Yeah.
But you two may never run into it.
Yeah.
I feel you, but here's what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Unless you like Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But here's what I'm saying. If you believe in a doppelganger theory, then you should understand that there's somebody out there just like you.
Oh,
And if there's somebody out there just like you, then you should understand that there's somebody out there that wants your man. Because the way you want your man, somebody else wants your man. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's understand that there's a doppelganger effect out there.
And I'm gonna use this because we got another topic, but I'm gonna use this point as a backdrop, or at least as a premonition of the next conversation. But in this economy, if you got a good man, especially if he's a high earning man, right? After he done met the technicalities of attraction, whatever attracts you, and then you add on the fact he making money. Yeah, there's a lot of women literally crying every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before they meet other people that they don't have that type of man. I saw a TikTok the other day of a woman. Now people could say, "Oh, she wasn't talking about a man in particular," but come on now.
She talking about a specific man. In her life. Because
there was a woman on there. She was crying, and she was having a real vulnerable moment. And you know what? And she was crying because she said that she hadn't had a genuine hug in 5 years. And she felt like she was dying of touch starvation. And that might sound ridiculous, but that's not ridiculous.
It's biblical as well.
But it's also human.
Yeah.
Because as human beings,
yeah.
You see this, what we doing right now?
We long for this, yeah.
This right here?
Yeah.
We live for this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, real talk.
Yeah.
It's a recharge of,
Yeah, it's community, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because the whole thing with women have their gatherings and they can go out and have a good
It's good
time.
for the soul.
Yeah.
It's good for your health.
As men, we don't do that as much as women do. That's kind of how I just look at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But she was over here. She was saying that she lacks touch starvation, and so then I said to myself, and if it's been 5 years, you haven't even felt that kind of embrace. Like I'm talking about, let's take aside the people you barely know, but you're doing a quick meet and greet somewhere. Hey, right? So that wasn't.
Do that again.
Hey.
But
hey, that's gonna be a little clip on our what's the name?
You know, and I get it. You put that to the side, right? Because these not people that know me, right?
Surface level.
It's surface level. All the surface level, it's like we got to take the surface level out. We're talking about for meaningful relationships.
Oh.
So that told me, I said to myself, wow, it's been 5 years. Since 2018, you felt like this. And then I had to multiply that. I was like, how many other women are suffering from some dynamic like this? And it's also due to the fact that they're single. That they look strong and got it together.
On the outside.
On the outside. When we out in public. When we go to the happy hour. When we go to these on the event.
But on the inside, they dying.
On the inside, when they go up to their room into the hotel room at the convention, or when they leave to go home,
and they blue Honda Civic.
And they blue Honda Civic. And but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sedan.
When they go do that, no, really, some of them it's Mercedes, right? When they go home, when they go home, and after they done did what they needed to do with the dog, and pat them on the head and feed them some food and take them out for the walk, and they go inside, take their shower and clean up.
Or they done filled up their cup of wine with their cats.
Yeah, but they breaking down.
I was here
it is. And I remember in the comment section, a dude said, why we feel sorry for her? Because there's men that go through the same shit too. And they kill themselves.
And
right?
Women clown them for it.
And they clown them. But they had a lot of empathy for her. But these men...
Why? Because she's a
fellow woman, right? And I say that all to say this. We live in a world where, like, at times people ain't happy with what they have, right? Like, I ain't gonna lie, I've been trying to practice a little bit more gratitude in my own life, right? Like trying to practice some gratitude.
Shout out to the season of gratitude, bro. That's where I'm at in my life right now. Every day I wake up and I'm grateful. I'm in my grateful season, because if you're not in your grateful season, you're in your vulnerable season.
Yeah, no,
Believe
facts.
that shit. Believe that shit. The way this world works, if you're not in your grateful season, you're in a vulnerable season. Believe that.
Yeah. And I say that because it's like, I'm in a space right now where I'm like, yo, shit. You know, this shit could be all over
Tomorrow.
tonight, right? And then I gotta look back. How many of those days when I look back was I really enjoying that fucking day? And not just looking into tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? Or how many times when I had a sandwich, I just didn't enjoy the sandwich because I wanted a steak. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's easier for us to realize that, right? When you're in an airplane and you go through some turbulence, and then you make it out of turbulence, and you be like, "Woo, thank you, Jesus," because you realize that the plane could have went down and kept going down.
Quick moment
It's
of
easy.
gratitude.
It's easy to do that then,
Yeah.
right? Or you get into a situation and you're driving, and you're tired, and you're sleepy, and you find yourself veering off to the other side of the road, and you catch yourself.
Or you get that test,
You
the
know-
results back, and you're like, "Oh, it ain't mine," or "I ain't got that clap clap."
You know what I'm saying?
Shit like that.
It's
Okay.
easy to feel it then.
Okay.
But in the in between time, in the in between times do you feel it? And the reason why I say that is because, you know, we having these conversations about why do men cheat? Why do people do this? And it's like these same men, and I'm not excusing their actions because they're grown men and they should,
Right.
you know. I'm not excusing their actions.
So for real, my bad.
You know, that's all
Two
good.
time for that. Yeah.
It's all good.
Hey, YouTube. Hey, that was only 5 seconds. One in
Yeah.
5 seconds. So
Don't-
please don't take this down.
Yeah,
Appreciate
don't trip.
you.
And so
And we don't own the rights to that music either.
We don't. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you for the
yeah, you gotta put that part in there.
Yeah, we don't own the rights.
That
But,
was accident.
but the point I'm trying to make is, like, these same men that the social media, I want to say, make to seem so inadequate or pit everybody against each other. I'm like, yo, like, there's people in real relationships, yo, and they figure a way out so they don't have to have those fucked up moments. You know what I'm saying? But then again, why is he cheating? Is it because he really ain't getting what he want at home and he tried his best? And now he in a vulnerable spot.
Or he just selfish.
Or he could be selfish.
It's simply plain. And then I want to make a quick point because I know we
Go
got to
ahead.
get into
Yeah.
the topics here.
But I do want to get it. I want to just touch on the fact that, listen, as I was saying earlier, high value men understand that time is the currency that can't be motherfucking replaced.
That's facts.
Right? So high value men cheat at a much different rate. And truth be told, women cheat more than men do.
Another topic.
I disagree on that.
No,
Another
you
topic.
can disagree.
Another
Now, I'm gonna tell you,
Men lie, women lie, but numbers
I
don't.
don't think the numbers will.
You can say what you want. That's a whole nother.
That's
Listen,
a whole nother topic.
season 4 episode whatever. We
It's coming.
gonna touch that. Believe that shit.
Statistics
Women
on.
cheat more than motherfucking men do.
I know y'all got something
Believe
to
that
say. Y'all
shit.
can come in right
They
now.
may not get caught,
That's the
but they
problem.
get caught. At the end of the day, all I'm gonna say is this: high value men understand that time is the currency that can't be replaced. And listen, Warren Buffett might be out there doing this thing. Bill Gates might be out there doing this thing.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan might be out there doing this thing.
Yeah.
But as high value men, here's what they're saying. There's a standard you're not meeting. You knew what it was when we got together. And you didn't come forward, and you didn't hit the mark that you were supposed to hit. So now I'm gonna go get it somewhere else.
No, hold on. And I'm this.
And it can still be called cheating.
Hold on. It's a segue. It's a segue. You didn't hit the mark when we first met. Shit be cool. Everything gravy. How you met them is how you gotta keep them. So what I'm saying is,
Facts.
everything in the beginning is gravy, but then come time with time,
Yeah.
things get what? It gets kind of lax. So things
Mundane,
go
yeah.
mundane. Nah, so I beg to differ. Just because you met someone, how you met them, that's how you got to keep them. So then we got to keep up that consistency in the beginning throughout the entire relationship, or what? One may do what?
One may go find what you're not providing
Or what you guys established together.
as a standard.
Exactly. So that's my thing with that. Consistency is that currency. Is that thing?
Constancy, the purpose, baby.
Correct. Exactly. So if that's not being consistent, yeah, may one drift. May one may drift.
But I will say this: most high value men have enough discipline not to be on that road.
And to have a conversation, an effective. Back to what we were saying.
I would say more so
Conversation.
like mature men.
There we go. Let's say that.
I feel like it's
Let's say
like
that.
I don't
because-
think you
because-
can be high value without having maturity.
No, you can
But
be
you
high
still
value.
have to- you
but
still
that's
have
why-
to say it, though.
But that's,
You still have to put it out there.
I'd rather say maturity because high value is like what we basing the high value on. If we're talking about maturity, any man can aspire to be mature. That means you don't have to be rich to be mature. You don't have to have a house to be mature.
I don't isolate high value to
You don't have to
value
own
or
a
wealth,
business to be mature.
But I get you, but I don't.
See what I'm saying?
I don't limit high value to value to wealth and I don't limit high value to wealth and riches and things of that nature, right? Because I know a lot of cats that make a lot of money who ain't mature at all, and I still wouldn't call them high value men.
But they may not care to be mature.
Because I think that high value is so layered, right?
Yeah.
If we peeling back the layers of the artichoke and we trying to really get to the heart of what a high value man is, then we got to understand high value men have not just a wealth of experience, they have a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of information, a wealth of resources,
Mm-hmm.
and they also have a wealth of character. They have a wealth of discipline. You know what I'm saying?
Not all though, dude.
But that's
not
how
all.
I define a high value
Yeah,
man.
correct. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
That's just my definition of a high value man. Because I know a lot of cats who have a lot just of material wealth, resources, and riches that I don't affiliate with. Because the character and the values don't align.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
feel
I'm
like
saying?
I mean that's why I love that phrase in football. When coaches talking about players, or when sports speak, when it's that locker room, TV room, talk like high character. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
so it's like
Great analogy. I like that.
So when
I like
I'm
that.
hearing
I like the
when I'm
parallel.
hearing you say high value, it's really registering to me as high character.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Great parallel, gentlemen. You guys are fucking scholars, man. I appreciate that.
No, but it's the truth, right? That's how I'm hearing it, right? Because and the reason why I'm saying that because I kind of want to divorce character from earning potential.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm saying
They're
that,
mutually exclusive.
but in this country,
but in a high value
in
man,
this
they have
country-
to be compared. They have to be bundled together.
but that's what I'm saying. Because in this country, a capitalistic country that preaches
Talk about it.
capitalism,
Talk about it.
it has married
Foreshadowing.
character with income.
Foreshadowing.
So that means that people who are of low income are low character. Because
that's
if they
not
had
true.
high character, they'd have high income.
And that's not
That's
true.
literally
Oh.
the rhetoric from right wing.
Hey, the powers that be.
Yeah, no, that's and that's
Social media,
Not true.
the media.
Well, what's not true? That's not
That narrative.
No,
that
I'm saying the narrative is
the
not
narrative.
true.
That's what I'm saying. The narrative. Yeah.
I know a lot of cats who are
The
high
existence
character.
of the narrative is true.
The
But
existence
narrative,
of-
yeah.
1000%.
Okay.
Let's not escape that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I agree with you. So at the end of the day, right? Because this is the short topic that we on today.
Yeah.
What y'all standing on? What y'all standing on?
What you standing on
So
with
I'm gonna stand on a man who cheats, right?
is a man in need.
It's a man who he either is in need or have low character, and I let the people decide.
Mm.
Whether
Alright,
that
comment
he's
section.
in need
Yeah, where y'all at?
or he's low character.
All right, what Mr. Insight stands on is keep the standard. The way you met him, y'all drive was up there. When I talk about drive, sexually, y'all was dating each other consistently. It wasn't lacking. But then maybe year 3, year 4, year 5, y'all gonna maybe 2 days out of the year.
Yeah,
That's
that's
cool.
crazy.
I'm kind of over exaggerating, but you get my damn drift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't think you over exaggerate.
With some people, but with some people, I get it. But I'm just saying, how you met them is how you gonna keep them.
Yeah, no,
So if that's not being done, guess what? That men may cheat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's reality. Not saying it's right. I'm not applauding it, but again, have the conversation. Hey, can we go on at least more dates? Can we have some one-on-one time, alone time like we used to do in the past? That's why some men may cheat. I get that. So, G-Man, what you standing on?
Well, here's what I stand on, right? I stand on the fact that at the end of the day, what you pay for is what you get, right? What you buy on a consumerism level is what you're going to get, right? Listen, I will tell you, I can't tell you how many times when prior to my more successful season in life, I wanted things that I couldn't really afford. So I bought the generic version of it. And it stopped working for me after 6 months. I bought the generic version of it, and it stopped producing the same quality of results that it did on day one. So what I've come to realize is that you get what you pay for, right? You get what you bought, right? And so if you didn't do your research, if you're not taking proper care of the product that you paid for, you're not gonna get the quality of the results that you expected when you bought it.
Amen, brother. Amen. That was coming to America.
So I would say this: not just how you got them is how you keep them. The longer you have the product, the more care that goes into maintaining it. You know what I'm saying? The longer you have the product, the more care that goes into it. So if I've had the product for 23 years, like me and my wife, I have to work harder than I did on day one to make sure that my relationship with my wife is maintained at the level that it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know because I've shared it with y'all. I wrote my wife a song.
Yes, you did.
For my anniversary.
It's really good.
You know what I mean?
It was very
And that's not the first time I wrote my wife a song, but the quality of the song was better than it was the first time I did it.
Yeah.
Right? Because I had to step the level of everything up.
Aging, like fine wine, basically.
Fine wine ages just because it exists. The quality of the wine ages and because it exists. A woman can't keep a man just because she exists.
I knew you. I threw you the layup because I knew you was going.
You know what I mean?
Alley-oop it, like, I knew you gonna alley-oop it because you always do.
I'm a Vince Carter that motherfucker.
Yeah, all
you know
day
what I'm
long.
saying?
One hand.
Yes.
In that bitch.
Hand in the cookie jar.
Dunk contest.
So what I'm telling you is, what I stand on is, work harder for the thing that you want. Understand that effort and the level of it doesn't dissipate. It's not okay to dissipate the level of expectation and energy just because you already got it. Because anything that you have gained, you can lose. And what most women need to understand,
yes,
and I'm gonna be real, this is what I stand on more than anything else. Sometimes pain can be gift wrapped in your preferences. So you walking around here and you looking for the 6'2", 205,
unicorn,
$115,000 plus earning individual business owner,
500,000. What I'm hearing now,
$1 million, right? Whatever it is, your pain can be gift wrapped as your preference. So if you don't take care of it, that same preference can become your pain. So if you really, really, really want to see the extent of what a real relationship looks like, you got to understand that you have to take better care of the older product. The longer you hold on to it, the more care has to be given. The more knowledge has to be acquired.
like an antique vehicle.
Absolutely.
Like an antique vehicle.
But when you take care of it the way you're supposed to, the value goes up.
Ooh, another. Vince Carter.
When you take care of it, the value goes up.
Facts.
And that's what the fuck I stand on. And I'm gonna say that because I can say that, you know, in my personal life, I know that it's real because it exists for me.
Yeah.
Can't nobody tell me that I'm lying. when I know what my wife does, I know what I do, and that's why we still together after 23 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Call me a liar if you want to.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
But that's where we at. So how and why do men cheat? Because you inadequate.
That's it.
Because you ain't giving the effort. Because you ain't doing what you supposed to do.
If you want to debate, we could debate in the comments, or you can come on the show. We could either or. We could do that.
Pull up.
Yeah, pull up. Or you could be on the patio, but you got to be vetted, just like that check.
Yeah, because we pre-verified right here.
Pre-verified.
I think also too. Let me just say one more piece.
Yeah, one more piece. We got to move to the next.
I can just hear,
I love when the inspired inspires.
Yeah.
I can hear my girl talking about placeholder women.
Yeah. Ooh.
And so I can hear, I can see that, and that's why I said it's low character or in need, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're with someone and you view that person as a placeholder, you know what I'm saying? I just needed someone to hold me down for these next few months, or for this year, or for these next couple of years. I just need
Then
someone.
you was never the one.
But that's the thing, right? But that's not her fault. That's not her fault.
That's that selfishness.
That's that low character.
Yeah.
That's not her fault. But see, the problem is,
but then that goes to your selection process.
but people can fake it,
Yeah. All day.
I get it.
and so there's some people out here that beat cases, and they're guilty as hell.
OJ.
Right?
Okay.
Right. And I mean, obviously, the corollary is there's people who are locked up that
Who
should
have
be
never
free.
committed a crime.
Never committed a crime. And so it's just that some people make it through the process, and they think that, they made through, the selection process,
But it's a flawed
the
system.
dating process, the courtship process, and they weren't being genuine because, quite frankly, they couldn't get what they wanted, so they made a low character decision.
So wait, hold on.
And
Hold
it's a
on.
flawed system that we didn't build.
Now hold on.
Oh, let's talk about that.
So this hey, y'all been watching the blind dating?
I heard about it on
that show?
Netflix, right?
I-
Love is Blind.
Love is blind.
Love is Blind.
I've been on it.
I think in this, if we go through life, going through that whole dating process, I think the pool will be a way lot better. You understand?
If what?
If we dated, we never saw each other in
Uh-huh.
person. We just got to know each other through situations. We telling our stories about how we grew up, what we went through, our character, and you will fall in love with that individual. And that in return, if you love the person,
If you
then-
watch that show though,
yeah,
every woman on that show that commits to a man that she's never seen,
yeah,
right? The women that the relationships that fail are typically because the woman decides you ain't who I thought you were. Once I see you, I'm not satisfied with the emotional element that I used to be satisfied with.
See?
You
Why
feel
is
what
that?
I'm saying?
Yeah.
I saw
four
that
just happened.
I see that with Kwame.
And you also saw it with the attorney.
Yes. No. But what
The
about,
attorney
what
who
about
literally went back to Bliss.
Yes.
And he said, I made the wrong choice.
I ain't see that yet. Don't spoil it for the motherfucker. But anyway, she's fresh. I ain't got there yet. I'm on episode 5, 6.
Me and my wife on that one already.
But the black couple, I think that's real. I think that's genuine.
What?
There's a black dude on here.
I love-
He's a designer, and I think he designs for Nike, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. No degree.
Right? And then there's a black woman, and you can see the connection.
When I say it's bomb, bro.
Like,
Like-
they didn't see each other before.
No.
But it's real. And you see that in several
Does he look good? Does he look convincingly?
He's a handsome dude,
Is he conventionally attractive?
He looks like I wouldn't say he's he's not a Denzel.
I mean, he's groomed.
But
He's groomed.
He's not a. Yeah, he groomed.
He takes care of himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? And at the end of the day, she takes care of herself.
Yes, he does too as well.
And that doesn't mean that there aren't flaws and issues that they have to overcome. It just means that at the end of the day,
Is he short?
Oh,
I can't tell you. I don't know. They don't.
You know,
put
TV. You know,
they don't
TV
put a
make you
ruler
bigger and
next
stuff.
to it.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought they had like a side by side. I haven't watched the show. I thought it'd be a
He's a little taller than her. Which,
Okay.
I mean, but you know, at the end of the day, that doesn't tell me much.
Yeah, no. I hear you. I'm just
He could be 5'11" and she could be 5'2" for all I know.
no facts.
You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? What I do know is this: at the end of the day, women have to understand that typically, especially in today's society, right, that they set a standard, and men are forced to subscribe to it.
Segway.
I don't know if it's women that set that.
Well,
standard.
no, in that circumstance, it is women.
Okay.
In that circumstance, it is women, right? They set a standard that men have to subscribe to. Truth be told, if we being real, then listen, let's talk about the reality of this, right? In a lot of cases, I know that, let's talk about single parent households, because that's what seems to plague a lot of the minority communities that we talk about, right? You have single parent households. A lot of women are raising they're raising children as single parents, which is difficult, right?
Very.
And what is a single mother going to tell a son? She's going to tell that son that he needs to do all of these things that the husband or father never did. You need to be this, and this,
How, Mom?
right?
I never saw the
you
example.
should treat your woman better than your father treated me.
How, Mom? I never seen the example.
But at the same time, what does that woman tell a daughter? You need to be prepared. You don't need a man. We're setting the table for men to chase women that are being taught that they don't need a man.
I mean, is it that? Yeah, it's a consequence.
There's
You
a
know what I'm
consequence.
saying?
So
Yeah, there's a it's a consequence. It's a consequence of something else.
yes,
And in that mentality, in that raising and parenting of children, that mentality, raising and parenting children,
Yes.
has consequences too.
yes. There are ripple effects. to
There's ripple
everything that
effect.
we
There's
do.
a top down.
Yeah.
The question is, how
If
you
you,
don't
throw,
even.
if you throw a rock in the water, there's
Yeah.
gonna be ripples,
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
And so here's where we are, right?
You throw a mountain into the ocean. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Let's talk about the fact that I'm proud of myself, guys.
Good facts.
You know why I'm proud of myself? We're sitting on my patio in a home that I bought
Yep.
for my wife,
Yep.
for my family,
Yep.
right? I believe I've achieved the American dream,
Mm-hmm.
What is?
but
the
I'm also conflicted. I'm
Underline
conflicted.
American dream. It's underline American dream at home.
I'm conflicted though,
Uh-huh.
and the reason why I'm conflicted about everything that we're talking about is that the American dream is something that is set by something other than me.
the powers that
Right? People that don't look like me have established what the American dream is supposed to be. The house, the white picket fence, the family with kids
The
and a wife.
401k that we're supposed to have.
You know, the ability for me, the ability for my wife to not have to go to work. But at the end of the day, when you flip the light switch, the lights come on. When you open the refrigerator, there's food there, right? At the end of the day, I believe I've achieved the American dream, but the American dream is a dream that wasn't established by me or my people.
When
Right.
you say people, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about my people. I'm talking about people of melanin-rich in capacity.
I just want the viewers to know that.
Right.
I hear that. That's
We're
it.
talking
You
about
know,
black people.
We talking about black people and people who don't even realize they black.
Ooh, I got some people.
I am talking about y'all self-hate Negroes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm talking about y'all self-hate Negroes.
Mhm.
When you get pulled over, you'll know exactly who you are. But
he digresses.
Keep going.
They're gonna let you know.
He digresses.
The one drop rule applies to you too.
Ooh.
Mhm.
But I'm conflicted because I'm forced to live within a standard that I didn't get to set. So now what that means is do I subscribe or do I set the standard? Most women have it construed or misconstrued to believe that we set the standard and we didn't. Women didn't set the standard either, right? The standard was set by a much stronger hierarchy within this country, right?
That has control over everything.
And that's just the reality of it all. And so when we talk about setting the standard versus subscribing to it, right? Let's talk about that element. DA,
Talk to me.
I want you to talk to me, right? When we talk about subscribing, give me your thoughts on that shit.
I mean, I feel like so. My interpretation of what you're saying,
Yeah, let it out.
is that you're speaking about American capitalism.
Absolutely.
You're speaking about capitalism. We live in a capitalistic country. And that's why I want everybody back home to underline American dream, right? Because the American dream is, right? A house,
A wife. White picket fence.
white picket fence,
A dog now.
Kids.
two and a half children, and a dog. You know what I'm saying? And so I remember watching this video. I wish. Hopefully we can put this on. We can reproduce this video as
In
a short.
post, it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I got you.
Run clip here.
We got you.
and that it was his brother. It was his brother from back in the 70s or 80s, talking about how the change of the economy caused the change in the family structure, right? Because when we were more agrarian, then there was a more communal living, right? Then as we shifted from the farms into the factory, it became 2-parent households. Everybody get their own house. You know what I mean?
Ford.
Right. And then when we moved from the 2-parent household, when we moved from the factory model to now the internet-based model, right? It's been more so, I don't need you, you don't need me, blah, 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 because now everybody can go get this internet money, right? And so, and when we say internet money, I'm talking about everything that the internet has allowed. Monetize. And also what it has allowed from a business capacity standpoint. Now you can work from home. You see what I'm saying? Now we don't have to do certain things because we have other technologies in place that help us bring those costs down, right? I mean, on the horizon we have AI, right?
AI taking over the world.
You see what I'm saying? So I say that because under the American under the American dream, it's the nuclear family that is seen as you got to have a nuclear family, and preferably the husband is working and the wife is at home, right? If she has to work, there's something wrong, right? Now that's how the game and that's how the system is set. We know that's true because if we go to other countries where there's another demographic that makes the numerical majority, then their values look different than how family structure looks, right? Let's go to the Middle East. It's quite normal for them to have polyamory and or have multiple wives. I even listened. I heard him. I don't know the correct term, so I'm just gonna say an elder, and he was speaking within a mosque. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was the imam or whatever.
Imam, yeah,
imam, right? And he was talking about how their model is better than the Western model because in the West you have not only do you have one, it's just a sheer numerical fact is that there's more women in there than men, right? So even if every man got married, there would still be women without husbands, right? Then he added on to the fact your prison population is 98% male. So you have a group of men that can't even get married because they're in prison. You got another group. Then he also talked about how, this, homosexuality, right? So that's gonna take a bunch of men out of the market, right?
ATL.
Right.
Oh.
Then he said, what Islam preaches, right? And this is their cultural beliefs, is that, a man should have as many wives as he's capable of supporting. Right?
Financially, of course.
Financially support. But if you can only support one, you get one. You keep one. But if you can do two, right? Because these women like husbands. And so I'm just using that as a model because that's I'm going to call that the Islamic dream. You know what I'm saying? And this is for the sake of conversation.
Subscription.
Right? And there's people, when they take on that faith, that's the model that they want. Just like when Christians when people take on the Christian faith, they take on this model. Right? So in all of those models, it ain't Africans creating these models. It ain't black people creating these models. They're not setting these models. They simply subscribing to them. Right? And I think given this whole conversation about high value men, can a man do this? because really we're talking about how in America a lot of men are just being flat out undermined, disrespected, because they don't meet the Americans, the high American standard, which is a high earning man who can support his family and his wife not being able to work and his kids having everything they could possibly want. But the reality of the fact is that every man in this country can't achieve that. They can't achieve that.
Right.
It's not possible.
Right.
Just the sheer, and this is something that I want everybody to consider, because we're talking about economics, and that is the Federal Reserve, which controls our monetary system in the United States, right? They have two mandates. One of them is full employment, right? Do what you can, Federal Reserve, so everybody can have a job.
Right.
The second thing is what? Keep inflation low.
Right.
Do whatever you can to keep inflation low. But what if it becomes a competition between those two mandates? Which one you think they going with? The politics of this country. Which one you think the politics of this country is going with? Low inflation or high employment or full employment? It's going to go to low inflation.
Competing interests.
You see me? So if it's going to be low inflation, because a couple weeks ago they dropped the jobs report, and you can see on the news, despite the fact that unemployment went down, they were crying because inflation was still in a level they thought was still unacceptable. Oh, fuck the fact that more people get jobs. It's just that inflation's still up. So if we look at that as an example, that means that if they'll sacrifice jobs in order to keep inflation low, who you think the burden of that poverty is going to fall on?
Same people will always fall.
Come on now.
The burden of society. Listen, first
Talk
of
about
all, let's be real, right? Zora Neale Hurston said a long time ago, if you reference God, Zora Neale Hurston mentioned the fact that black women were the mule of society. Mm-hmm. And the reason black women
What's that?
were the mule of society.
That's okay.
And the reason why she referenced mules is because mules were the ones that were forced to carry the weight.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the reason why black women were considered to be the mule of society is because they had to carry the weight that not only they had to carry, but also the weight of the black man. Mm-hmm. Right? And so at the end of the day, they were the lowest on the totem pole in society. That's no longer the case. Yeah. There are more black women in college. There are more black women in high earning income jobs. Right now, honestly, black men are actually now on the lowest on the totem pole if you really want to look at the statistics.
And let's be real. And while we're having this conversation about the economy, it's not like the economy today is the same economy from 1980. Right? It's not the same economy from 1970 either.
It's not.
It's gone through changes. Right? Throughout the 90s, remember the 90s when Clinton was in office? You know what was happening around that time? The internet was happening around that time.
Yeah.
And you know what was the big debate in the middle of the 90s? What? Jobs going where? Overseas. And who was being dislocated because of that joblessness?
Absolutely.
Men.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, the jobs that required education, you're right? The job that required education and less emphasis on physical labor, right? Women started going to school and taking up those jobs, right? And so let's talk about it. When the pressure started to hit, that's when everybody said either we voting for Bush or we voting for Trump. And we're talking about when the pressure hit white America, because they needed to stop the bleeding.
Run that back.
Right.
Bush or Trump?
Because I'm talking about, and I'm doing like a fast forward.
No, I want you. Yes.
Yeah. I'm just doing a quick fast forward.
But I want you to explain that.
Yeah. And what I mean by that too is because coming out of 2000, after Clinton was in office, they made a shift because of the rise of globalization. That's when they selected Bush.
Not to mention the fact that Clinton was the spearhead of the super predator.
Exactly, right? And he's also the one that authorized the NAFTA bill.
Absolutely.
That's the North American Free Trade Agreement. That's what sent jobs into Canada and other jobs into Mexico.
Yes.
And that was the beginning of the wave that a lot of people felt. Granted, it was already precipitating because when Toyota came to the United States, you should have known. Yeah, the whole world about to start doing business with each other.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so it was like, we sending jobs over. That's why we got.
The world go round.
Right?
Money
'Cause-
made the world go
Listen,
round.
and we all know, right? Listen, everybody, listen, Jordan. Let's talk about a lot of products. Shout out to China.
China. Yeah, there you go.
Shout out to China.
Shout out to China. Because a lot of what's being made, even your Apple product, somebody's probably watching this on YouTube from a MacBook,
Yeah.
and even that MacBook is made in Taiwan.
Shout out to LeBron for taking the hush money.
It is what it is. But you know where I'm going with it, and I'm saying that to say this. This is what's happening at the top level, right? You heard me? This is what happened.
I just can't believe you said that shit.
Yeah, I know. But this is what's happening at the top at the top level, right? We having a change in the economy. Men are being dislocated. The brunt of those men that are being dislocated are black men.
Mm-hmm.
So now they coming home without a job.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, his sister just got into Georgia Tech. His aunt just finished her master's.
And she wouldn't have been, and none of them would have been able to do that if he wasn't sacrificing what he had to sacrifice.
Of course.
And understand that what happens is black men get vilified and demonized for the sacrifices that they make because the lack of acknowledgement of the sacrifice that has been made.
Yeah.
Right? When we start talking about the fact that at the end of the day, black women have definitely, minority women have definitely, all women have definitely benefited from the sacrifice that has been made by the male species. But very often the male species don't get any acknowledgement or appreciation for those sacrifices.
But no, they don't. They appreciate their dad. They appreciate their dad.
I won't say that they do.
I'm talking about for the ones that their dad was home. They appreciate him. They just don't appreciate.
Well, I'll talk about the women that are on TV.
Okay, well, a lot of those women, what you hear those women say, how come they don't make men like my dad no more?
Okay,
that's where I'm coming from.
But those are
because we used to have men.
Hold on.
But we used to have men that used to do this. That's because those men had jobs.
And let's be real though, the majority of those women are white women.
No, but I'm talking about black women too.
I'm not saying all black women. I'm saying the majority of those women are white women.
What? That
talk about the fact that when my dad was in the house. The reality is, if you look at the statistics right now, about 33% of black households currently have two-parent households.
Compared to what?
Compared to about 55% of white Americans having two-parent households. Compared to about 45% of Hispanics having two-parent households. Mm-hmm. Compared to about 50% of Asian Americans having two-parent households. Mm-hmm. Black Americans, we have the lowest number of two-parent households, right? And now we understand that maybe 6 to 12% were two-parent households, and then somebody went to jail, somebody got murdered, something happened. So maybe we would have been at 48%, 45%.
I mean, I wonder where we'd be if there was no war on drugs. I wonder where we'd be if there was no mass incarceration.
Shout out to Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton.
You know, and also Joe Biden. And I'm just, these are the people.
Yeah.
These are the people who ushered it into law.
That's who y'all voted for.
Okay, and don't get it twisted. James Clyburn is in this too.
And don't get it twisted. I also understand that a lot of our listeners are gonna say I voted for the lesser of two evils.
And that's perfectly fine.
But we talked about throwing a mountain in the water. There's ripple effects to every decision that we make.
Some waves,
understand that at the end of the day, if you're a partisan individual, if you're a Republican or you're a Democrat, there's consequences to every decision that we make.
But I would even bracket it by even saying politicians who come from two capitalist-leaning parties will have
each other's interests at
not each other's interests at heart. It's just that their goals and their aims may not be all that different.
Yeah,
and you know, because
it looks exactly the same.
Yeah,
no, it's not the same because
the interest. I'm talking about at the end of the day, the end result looks exactly the same.
I mean, because the benefits, because we don't get the balance of the benefits.
The end result looks exactly the same.
We don't get the balance of the benefits.
We don't want them to benefit from decisions that we're making.
But we do want their vote.
Correct.
Yeah,
exactly.
We don't want them to be here, but we do want their vote
to help us get there.
We're gonna make it look a certain way.
Dress it up.
I mean, because they also know
Put the costume on.
They also know too. We have to have some unemployment, and they willing to let non-white people, specifically black people, bear the brunt of that unemployment.
Facts.
That's what I'm saying, right?
That's always been the
so,
goal, though.
So now, let's take it back on a local level, right? On a local level, what impact is that having on relationship discussions? The impact is we're still operating under a framework that doesn't work for us. We're talking about relationships within a framework that doesn't incorporate us. And I'm gonna just go ahead and say it just so that people understand what I'm talking about. We might have to look at different relationship models in this country if we're not in the position of the majority.
What the hell is that?
Well, it's not if.
Oh yeah,
We're not in the position of
we're not in the position of the majority. So, but and the reason why I say that, right? Different relationship models, and understand that white folks don't practice, 2-parent households, because you just said it yourself, just by giving the statistics, right? But when we see this, even when we watch shows like Vikings, right? It's number white people in there. The main character had 2 wives. He had children from both.
You go on the child support court right now. Go to the state courthouse. Go into the child support courtroom, right? Understand that you ain't gonna see you're gonna see very little white women in there pursuing child support of their white counterpart, right? Listen, at the end of the day, the feminist movement has caused all kinds of issues, right? If we go back to the history of everything, and you look back, the creator of Cosmopolitan magazine did an interview, and in that interview, the creator of the Cosmopolitan magazine actually said that they regret everything that they've done, because what they did was, in the interest of the feminism movement, they created the narrative of what feminism and what it should look like, right? What they wanted was, they needed black women to join the movement. So what they wanted to do was, they wanted to create this image in which black women needed to subscribe to as well. What should it look like, right?
Well, yeah, and
That's
that's
that word again, a subscription.
But it worked though, right? It worked because
Once again, we talk about subscription versus setting the
and why
standard.
did they sign up? They signed up because black people are living under conditions of extreme capitalism.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
They dressed it up. So okay, listen.
No. I'm just saying as a baseline. We live in a world of extreme capitalism. Meaning, like, we get the negatives of what's going on.
Facts.
Right? Like there's many ways. Like when it comes to the cost of healthcare, the cost of peace, the cost of security.
That's the way it was built.
No, but I'm saying is that we pay a higher price
than everybody else
to get the same shit.
That was the setup. That's
what I'm saying. That's extreme aspect.
And that's the subscription versus setting the standard.
And to be fair, just to make it be clear, just both. And let me go back to something I said. Both parties are capitalistic parties.
I'm
gonna be very clear right now and say that it's the GOP. They practice extreme capitalism, right? That's their model. Like, they don't say it like that, but that's what trickle-down economics comes down to.
They stand on it.
They stand on that. Democrats, they're trying to go into this democratic socialism, democratic capitalism. You catch what I'm saying? Where the people at the top looks diverse, right?
Yeah.
The people in the middle are diverse.
They dressing it up.
Well, they trying to give they trying to open up some doors, but it's still capitalism. That means there's still got to be losers.
We willing to give up a little something.
Yeah.
To get at the end of the day, still get the end result that both parties want.
Because it's still going to be.
We're willing to secede some shit.
Barack Obama.
To have control. But at the end of the day, the end result is still the end result.
They're doing a more social capitalism. The Republicans practice extreme capitalism. If the Democrats and Republicans were a mountain, the Republican Party sees this country as a white cap. I mean, this is very white at the top and it's dark as hell at the bottom. Otherwise, the Democrats, they want a smattering across the top and a smattering across the middle. And then whoever makes it at the bottom makes it at the bottom. You know what I'm saying?
You got Greenland versus Honduras.
Yeah. you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And but it's still
At the end of the day, yeah.
It's still what?
There's a mountaintop at the end of the day.
All right.
And that means that there's going to be a limited set of winners.
The triangle is what the triangle
It's
is.
still a triangle.
Phil Jackson.
You know?
Shout out to Phil Jackson.
All right, but I beg.
But that's having an impact on relationships as people are discussing, you know, what does it look like to be in a relationship in modern era? We're still because we live in a capitalist country, and that's what I'm saying. Because we live in a capitalist country, and the majority of people that live in this country subscribe to those notions. The nuclear family is the ideal, and we need to may need to look at other relationship models so that other people don't have to live lives that they can't have reason to value just because it don't fit a certain type
So
of
what
life.
does that even look like, though?
But hold on, let's do this, right? Because at the end of the day, we came before Columbus. We came before Columbus, and that's a shout out to the clip at the beginning. We came before Columbus.
Correct.
Understand this, right? We existed on this continent prior to Columbus ever even arriving, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what we unfortunately allowed to happen was colonialism, right? And within that colonialism was their values. And within those values was it needs to look a certain way at the top of the mountain, right? So truth be told, we've allowed their ideals, their values, their conceptualism of what utopia looks like to take control over everything that we're doing right now, right?
We want to model every family after the king.
And listen, and they brought their guns with them to ensure that it happened that way. Listen, shout out to the Duchess.
Yes.
8th grade dance, first day. You know,
Yes.
we're live on YouTube. I just want you to know that. You know what I mean?
You've been at this for 2 hours. I need to wrap this up.
Okay, well, and listen,
It get real.
and listen, as a high value man, I'm gonna listen to my wife. So we're gonna wrap this up quick. But here's what we're gonna do. So here's where we are, right?
Yeah.
Right? We got the snow-capped mountains.
Yeah.
They came over here with their guns. They came over here with their intentions. And the reality of it is they found a way to erase us and divorce us from our values, from our culture, from everything that we had going.
And even though America was built on the backs of slaves,
1,000%.
But you know what's crazy? It's just that everybody when they go back to their old country, I'm talking about when the Italians go back to Italy. And I'm not saying physically, we trying to say. I'm just saying just in general, like when they go back to Italy, you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
When they go visit Europe, you know what I'm saying? When they go back to Europe, or when the Indians go back to India and the Chinese go back to China. I'm just
And when he says Indians, he does not mean Native Americans.
Yeah. I'm talking about the people.
For the ignorant individuals.
Yeah, I'm talking about the sons and daughters of Barat. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about those people.
Talk about it.
And so when people go back to their heritage, there's multiple different relationship models being practiced in those countries.
1,000%.
And like outside of this, the rigid West, and we're talking about, and outside of certain classes in the West, you start looking under the hood, and you go out into the country of England, or you go into the country of France, or you go into the country of Estonia, a country in Russia. They're practicing different relationship models.
But and this is what I'm saying, right? At the end of the day, what I'm saying is ultimately, the black family, the minority family, has to subscribe to the standards set by a culture that wasn't theirs. Which is also why Eastern therapy doesn't, which is why Western therapy doesn't work on Eastern minds, right? And vice versa, right? At the end of the day, what we have to do is always make sure that we're in tune with our heritage. And that means that you have to educate yourselves. We have situations like Ron DeSantis in Florida.
Oh, I'm talking about
and I'm not gonna deep dive it because y'all know, listen, I got ties that I don't need to have exploding on me, right?
Absolutely.
But what I will say is this: at the end of the day, there's a lot of House bills that are out there right now that really are going to have a potential, an extremely negative impact on our lives, right? At the end of the day, we can have these conversations about critical race theory being taught in schools. We can talk about the LGBTQ initiatives. We can talk about the women's initiative. We can talk about the intersectionality of all of these things that come into these House bills that are being introduced to minimize the rights and the values of those people that really actually made this country exactly what this country looks like,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
And let me just say this: I don't think that we have to just subscribe to it. I don't think so.
But we don't have to subscribe. But what we can't ever say is that we've ever set the standard.
No, we didn't. And the reason why I'm saying that we don't have to subscribe to it, it goes back to a little bit of the conversation we had talking about why do men cheat, right? And
bring
that
it full
is
circle, DA.
and that is when forming a relationship, you have to be clear about the type of relationship you want, right? I'm a lawyer, right? I'm a lawyer. I've been practicing for a few years now, right? One of the services I provide for my clients, we can build, we create trust for them,
Right.
You catch what I'm saying?
Full circle.
And so
Full fucking
So
circle.
if you don't, if a man doesn't want the cookie cutter, one man, one wife relationship, he can have in the informal relationship if he has multiple women living with him that have his kids in the same house, right? Obviously, you got to make it work financially, but I guess what I'm also trying to say is the trust itself. You can establish a trust to take care of them, right? So now you're not relying on the state to come to an agreement, because the only state comes into play when the family doesn't have a plan.
Facts.
So
a will or a trust.
A
Which
will
is,
or trust.
which is also a shout out back to what I said earlier, which is if you go into a child support courtroom,
Bless you.
bless you. When you go into bless you. When you go into a child support courtroom, what you rarely see is a white woman trying to get something from a white man, because at the end of the day, everything has already been established in those relationships, right? White women have been raised to be wives to a white man,
Trophy.
right? They understand what it means to be a wife to their man, right? And in most cases, what has happened is when we've been robbed of our heritage, when we've been robbed of our history, when we've been robbed of our understanding, right? We've been allowed to be deceived, right? And our pain has been gift wrapped as our preferences.
But I also say we don't even have laws to support the different type of family,
Because the laws were never written for us in the first place.
right? So that means that we don't have laws that talks about the division of assets between 5 wives.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all.
You see what I'm saying?
We listen, we're gonna dumb it down for y'all at some point in time.
Yeah.
For those of y'all that don't get it, I need y'all to comment in the comment section so that we can comment back to y'all. If there's something that you're missing along the way, if there's some point where we're above heads, let us know so we can bring that shit down and break it down for you.
Not facts.
Right? What we can't afford to do is take 3 years to explain the breakdown of all of this shit.
Nah.
Right? But what we can do is take our time to individually engage in conversation individually with you guys. Or if you guys let us know, hey, break this down further for us, next episode or another episode, we can do that as well.
Yeah, we need y'all feedback.
Yeah. Because when she says she wants a traditional relationship, what type of relationship? What tradition?
What does that mean?
What tradition?
What tradition are you standing on?
Yeah. What traditions do you want to follow? The African traditions?
Eurocentric?
Eurocentric traditions?
Because actually, at the end of the
Chinese
day,
tradition, the Indian
when we
traditions,
talked about the American
Muslim
dream,
traditions, what traditions we talking
when
about?
we talked about the American dream, what we talked about was a Eurocentric ideology of what the American dream is. The American dream is a Eurocentric ideology, right? It has nothing to do with our people, right? And at the end of the day, black people are the most forgiving people on the planet. American blacks are the most forgiving people on the planet.
That's our problem.
Right? And shout out to Dave and every other Haitian American in the world.
Sapase!
They fought the first fight for independence.
Yes.
Right? You know, at the end of the day, there's a segment of population that understand that the only way we're going to get where we want to be is through the fight.
Through the fight, yeah.
Right? The black American is the one that tries to be forgiving. We try to subscribe.
Every other country does it.
It's a fact.
Every other country does it.
It's a fact.
Everybody
it's a historical fact.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? But if you understand where you came from, if you research your history, if you tap into your historical value,
you'll have a better understanding of self.
And if you have a better understanding of self, then what you have is a better understanding of what relationships should look like. and you have a better foundation for relationships. And if you understand what foundations mean, the house that you build on that foundation is only as strong as the foundation that is. It's only as strong as the foundation that is built on.
Tupac. Tupac. His whole foundation, mom, stepdad, Black Panthers. He understood, knew kind of what that was, and basically what did he do? He had a voice. He spoke upon it, and he built upon it. And ultimately, at the end of the day, they see this motherfucker. Tupac's a powerful ass dude. Changed lives.
Probably one of the most influential and most impactful people in America.
So when people see that, white America,
it's crazy that he died young.
Correct.
Just like Nipsey Hussle.
Correct.
Died young.
Correct.
At the end of the day, some of our most influential leaders, when Martin Luther King started to speak about economic disenfranchisement and everything else, guess what happened?
Yeah.
If anybody has done any research, if you've done any history, if you know anything about history, then you know that Martin Luther King didn't die because he got shot. Martin Luther King died in the hospital because the doctors that were treating him smothered him with a pillow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actual facts. You can Google it if you don't believe it, right? Martin Luther King didn't die when he got shot. Most people believe that Martin Luther King died when he got shot.
Because that was hold on. Why? Because that was
they didn't want him to make it. They didn't want him to make it out alive.
Yeah, that was the narrative that was portrayed on what media, social media, and that's what we stuck with, and that's what we believe. So here's the thing: for me, I never believe news, everything that's put out, because they're letting you know this is what we want you to know. We don't want you to know what the real truth happened. Mm-hmm. So when they have the masses, the television media, that's why other individuals are having created YouTube channels so they can create their own narrative and to tell the true stories behind what things are. You understand?
No, they want you to drink the Kool-Aid.
They want you to drink the Kool-Aid, so that's why. Oh, Lord. Jesus.
I was just gonna say, on the topic of relationships.
Bring us full circle. Bring us back, because you know we about to go down the rabbit hole. We about to go down the rabbit hole.
But I just wanted to say on the topic of relationships and with the backdrop, economic.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? The economic backdrop, and it's that, you know what, men. I'm gonna first say something to men, right? And that is about foundation. And I love that you brought up foundation. I think y'all both said something about foundation. Y'all both said. I forget where you said it. Then you called. And so, the reason why I love that you talked about foundation, because you a smart builder, an intelligent builder,
the fucking foundation.
Right? But doesn't build the foundation without a blueprint of where he's going to place it. Right? Where am I going to build my house? And then, because I know where I want to build it, and then I got to know the exact place I'm going to build it, right? Because I got to say the door's going to be here, the back door's going to be here,
the vision,
the garage is going to be here. So they got to be a blueprint, right?
And understanding this, based on where I'm building that house, and based on the foundation that I'm building, I got to have insurance for the weaknesses that exist.
No, facts.
So based on where I'm building my house, if I live in Houston, I need to make sure I have flood coverage.
Yeah.
If I'm in Florida, I might need to have sinkhole coverage.
Yeah.
Right? Depending on where I build my house, my insurance,
California,
is going to be focused on those weaknesses and those dangers that exist.
But to my point about setting and subscribing, right?
Yeah.
You went to the lady at the office because they're building a new subdivision, right?
Yeah.
And they showed you the floor plans, right? Instead of just taking the floor plans that they give you,
customize your shit.
Customize your floor plans.
Customize your shit. So
that way, when you start to build that foundation, it's to your specifications, right? Mm-hmm. So we're talking about, and that's why I said I'm first addressing the men, because women control access to sex and men control access to what? Marriage, right?
Marriage.
And so when it comes down to that part, just don't take society's blueprint for what a family should look like.
This is what you're standing on, right?
This is what I'm standing on.
Okay.
This is what I'm standing on. If that's not the blueprint you want to agree to.
Especially when we know that the blueprint, the standard blueprint wasn't written or devised in your interest.
Yeah, it wasn't. Because that blueprint, property rights.
Ah.
Yeah. You know, he's the one that controls access to that marriage. Because ain't nobody getting married until he proposes.
Or to when he's ready.
And, when he's ready. And so, just know what you're trying to do. Don't complain about the single family, two family house when you're a multi-family dude. Oh.
So listen,
I'm going to say just like that. I hope that makes sense.
That's perfect. No, that's perfect.
I hope that people understand.
That's perfect.
Choose what works best for you, sir.
And that's what DA stands on.
I stand on that.
Daily Insight, what you standing on?
It's pretty much the same, right? We go throughout life and we experience our likes, our dislikes in relationships, through other people's relationships.
Yeah.
So therefore, you have to kind of, by trial and error, or through others' errors or successes, say, you know what? I think this works for me, right? So whatever they may be, if you see a D-Ray Davis who has 2 girlfriends, and you may say, you know what? You be in a relationship, and maybe you can't be with that one woman. You like, man, I just have a need to be with 2 women all the time. You know what I mean? Don't be upset or don't get mad with society or your mom or your parents and say, you know what? I can't worry about what works for them because this is my life.
Mm-hmm.
I have to live it to its fullest. I can't live for other people because you can't please everybody.
Right.
Because if you keep that up, you're gonna be a miserable ass person.
And if you choose to be a stay-at-home dad, and that's what you want to do,
find your woman that
wants you to be at home.
Facts.
And that exists.
It does. I really didn't see it.
If you want to share your wife with another man,
so be it.
People do it.
If that gets your
rocks,
I know. Hold on. If that gets your rocks off and that pleases you and her, guess what? Be so that's the thing that has to happen, right? But you have to find a person that is subscribing.
Thank you.
To your thought process or your vision. Because without that, this shit does not work.
It don't work. Because at the end of the day, the relationship is still between y'all.
So that's y'all which is
it's still between y'all.
2 people.
You gotta minimize outside influence.
Yeah. Just because y'all wanted to do what everybody else was doing. That's why you got confused. Mm-hmm. Do what y'all want to do.
So what you're saying is
that's what I'm standing on.
So what you're saying is don't chase somebody else's dream, chase your own.
Yeah.
Chase your own dream.
Chase your own subscription.
Right? Follow your own vision.
Your own subscription.
Create your own goddamn plan.
Because even though we haven't been able to set the standard in society, we have the right to set the standard in our own homes.
Yes, in our lifestyle. Yeah, correct.
We have so here's what I stand on. If you're truly a man, set the standard for your own vision. Don't chase somebody else's. If you're a woman looking for a high value man, understand that submission is necessary
to make that vision work.
To make the vision work. Because at the end of the day, we can have competing interests and never move the needle.
Or
we can come together
to make a powerful dynamic
and become 10 times more powerful. But understand, if women control access to sex and men control access to marriage, then you have to understand that the man's vision must be adhered to in order for that to work. And if you need a submissive man for you to be happy, then you need to find a submissive man. But understand that submissive men come with ripples. High value men come with ripples. Everything that you're chasing in life comes with ripples. There are residual effects to everything. And so if we don't understand and accept the reality of the situation, right? Then we find ourselves disappointed because our expectations are not being met. And as we've said many times before on this pod, expectation is the first step on the road to disappointment.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, no one else is ever going to meet your expectation. So you need to find unity and harmony in the vision. So when you're dating out here, what you need to be doing is you need to find out what that man's vision is and whether you can subscribe to it.
That's called having effective.
Communication. Come on now.
We back to it full circle. So
Listen, we could do this shit for hours.
yeah, we
Like Mooney Long, hours and hours and hours.
Yes.
Right? But at the end of the day, what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this motherfucker up
Yep.
with a pretty ass bow and say this. Whether we talking about why men cheat, whether we talking about setting standards and subscribing to standards, ultimately what we're talking about is knowledge of self,
yes,
understanding of history, establishing and setting a vision and expectations for what your life should look like. And as long as you fit that into a mold that looks good and that you're comfortable with,
Just like my
you'll
Invisalign.
find happiness and joy.
just like my Invisalign, that mold.
Right? There's where we are. So, we gonna close this thing out, man.
Let's get it.
Season 4, I Stand on That podcast. I hope y'all were able to bear with us while we stood on some shit.
Yes, sir.
We some shit starters. I'm sorry. We are.
You know what I mean?
Shit starters.
At the end of the day, I'm a fire starter, baby.
Let's get it.
Hey, we out. We gonna check y'all
And we
next
gonna
time.
keep this shit burning. See y'all next time. Hit us in the comments. Check out the clips. Check out the archive. Because we here and we ain't going no fucking where.